Welcome to the Talkin' Texas Rangers podcast. I'm your host, Larry Lease. This is your home for all things Texas Rangers news, rumors, and roster updates. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Game Time. If you're looking to attend the next Rangers baseball game, check out Game Time for some great tickets. I always go to Game Time for all my ticket needs. Whether it's the Rangers, the Mavericks, the Stars, or any concert events in Dallas, I check them out first chance I get. A link will be in the description. Check them out today. Today's first topic, as always, who's hot, who's not. Well, the Texas Rangers relief bullpen was at it again this week, blowing games late. The only good thing that has happened is that Adolis Garcia is the Astros' kryptonite and helped get some runs on the board against them. The Rangers took 2 out of 3 games against the Athletics this past weekend. They returned home to start the Silver Boot series against the Houston Astros this past week and lost 3 of the 4. They have to figure something out quickly to get back into the divisional race after this week. Now let's dive into who's hot, who's not. Adolis Garcia is hot. Garcia is officially considered a pain in the rear for the Houston Astros. Adolis Garcia had 5 RBIs, 6 hits, and a home run in the past week. It also seems that he's getting more patient at the plate, looking for pitches to hit in his zone. This is something to keep an eye on as the season moves along. Jonah Heim. While Heim didn't have the best of weeks as he struck out 3 times at the plate, he and his wife are expecting soon. It was announced yesterday that he'd be going onto the paternity leave list, and Sam Huff would take his spot on the roster until he gets back. His wife had the baby this morning as it was announced that Lux Blakely Heim was born at 7:58 a.m., according to Texas Rangers Sports Illustrated beat reporter. Congrats to the Heim family, and we'll see Heim when he gets back later this season. Martin Perez. Perez has gone more than 6 innings in his starts this week. In 13 innings, he gave up 1 earned run and struck out 9 hit batters. It just stinks that the relief pitchers messed up his outing against the Astros early Thursday afternoon. He's one of my players that has surprised me so far on this Rangers roster. And now on to who's not hot. Pretty much the relief bullpen. This pretty much is for the pitchers that come after the starters. Please don't give the game away late in the game to the opponent. It's why the Rangers can't get a winning streak going. One of the many reasons that fans have not shown up at the ballpark this season. And Jack Leiter. Please don't shoot the messenger. Leiter is officially human. He had a bad outing against the Northwest Arkansas Naturals this past weekend in Frisco. While some of his issues had to do with an inconsistent strike zone from the umpire, he did give up 4 runs in 2 innings. That's why he's on the Who's Not Hot list this week. And in other news, the Rangers are beginning an away series against the Phillies, which is definitely going to be a tough matchup. Now on to our next topic. Our 2022 Week 3 recap. And now on to our Rangers update for Week 3. The Rangers did not fare well in the first series of the week against the Astros. Taking the first game of the series, Texas then went into a 4-game slide, dropping the final 3 games of the Houston series and the first of the series against the reigning World Series champion Atlanta Braves. Although they had a losing week, the Rangers had a few really strong pitcher outings. Notably, Martin Perez was perfect through 6 innings in the final game against the Astros. The perfect game was broken up on the 7th inning, though, when the Astros got 2 hits and a run. He struck out 4 in the game. Perez now has a 3.0 ERA on the season. Friday's game became a bullpen game and was not an example of stellar pitching. However, Saturday evening's game was. The Rangers won the weekend series against the Braves in large part due to Dane Dunning's outing, going 7.2 innings, struck out 7 and gave up just 1 run on 4 hits. Notably, Sam Huff caught that game after being called up when Jonah Heim went on paternity leave. Texas went on to win Sunday's game as well. Taylor Hearn went 5 innings and gave up 2 runs on 4 hits and 3 walks. Both runs came in the top of the 3rd. After Sunday's game, the Rangers made a few roster moves before the deadline to get the team down to 26 men came up. They sent both Sam Huff and Kole Calhoun down to Round Rock, which we'll discuss later on. And of course, Willie was none too pleased. I had high hopes this would be the season for Calhoun. He's had a lot of bad luck injuries, but early this season, he's had a lot of bad luck hitting too. And now on for our minor league update. Winston Santos on Sunday threw a strong 5.2 innings for Down East, allowing no runs on 4 hits and a walk, while striking out 5. Teodoro Ortega followed him with 2 runs allowed in 1.2 innings pitched, with 3 Ks and 2 walks. Destin Dotson allowed a pair of runs on 2 home runs, striking out 4. Michael Brewer allowed a pair of runs, one of which was the zombie runner, in 1 inning, striking out 1. It's the first runs allowed this season for both Dotson and Brewer. Tucker Mitchell had a hit and 2 walks. Maximo Acosta had a double and a homer. Daniel Mateo had a hit. TK Roby allowed 6 runs and 4 innings of work for Hickory, walking 4 and striking out 4. Mark Church gave up a pair of solo home runs in an inning of work, striking out 2. Chris Sizey homered. Thomas Sagis had a pair of hits. Trevor Halver and Angel Aponte walked and singled. Evan Carter and Keeber Rodriguez each had hits. Cole Reagan started for Frisco, went 5.1 innings pitched, allowing 3 runs on 8 hits, including a home run, and 2 walks, striking out 5. Chase Lee struck out 2 in a scoreless inning. Fernry Ozuna allowed 2 runs in an inning. Blaine Crim was 2 for 3 with a homer. Dustin Harris had a single and a double. Justin Foscue had 2 walks and a double. David Garcia had a hit. Cole Winn was back on the mound for Round Rock after leaving his previous start after taking a line drive off his foot. Winn had command issues, walking 6 batters in 5 innings while allowing 2 hits and 4 runs. Winn struck out 2. Josh Esbors threw 1.2 innings, allowing no runs on 1 hit and 1 walk, striking out 1. Nick Snyder walked 2 and allowed a hit in 0.1 innings pitched, but didn't allow any runs. Leody Taveras had a hit and 2 walks. Bubba Thompson had 2 hits. Josh Smith had a walk. Davis Wenzel had 2 walks. And before we move on, please give it a thumbs up on the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Be sure to hit that bell notification button to be notified of future videos. We hope to release episodes every Monday. That way we can give a full recap of the week's news. And now on to our next topic. Calhoun and Huff have been optioned to AAA. The Texas Rangers optioned outfielder Kole Calhoun and catcher Sam Huff to AAA at Round Rock after today's game. Active rosters were expanded to 28 from opening day through May 1st due to the shortened spring training this year. Thanks, lockout. So the moves were made to get the Rangers down to 26 on the active roster. Huff had been called up to fill in while Jonah Heim was on paternity list. Heim returned to action, but Colby Allard was sent down instead of Huff. So you can interpret this as Allard being one of the 2 players who was dropped to get the roster to 26. The decision to option Calhoun loomed as a possibility after the Rangers opted to promote outfielder Zach Rex when Spencer Howard was sent down on Friday. Calhoun has not put up good numbers, although he does have more walks than strikeouts, and had earned praise for doing the right things at the start of the season. Manager Chris Woodward mentioned, however, that an increase in pulled ground balls of late from Calhoun was an issue. When we did the year-end review for Calhoun, we noted that he was among the league leaders in exit velocity for ground balls, but at the bottom of the league in exit velocity on fly balls. Doing a better job elevating balls, he makes good contact, and was a necessity for Calhoun in 2022, and something he was apparently not doing a good enough job as of late. The Rangers will be activating John Gray in the next few days. The Rangers are currently at 13 pitchers, with MLB allowing a maximum of 14 pitchers per team through May 30th. Rex or another position player could end up going down when Gray returns. For now, though, Rex is part of the team's left field DH mix. And on to our final topic, the one change that could make the Rangers better. It can be difficult to admit failure. No one would be shocked if the Rangers finally realize Kole Calhoun just isn't viable any longer as a starting outfielder in the major leagues. Calhoun signed a 1-year, $5 million contract during the offseason. He isn't providing any value to the Rangers right now. In fact, he's providing negative value at minus 0.3 bWAR from his post in right field, a player who used to routinely beat up on Texas. The 34-year-old just isn't that player anymore. The good news? Calhoun's replacement's already in the organization. His name? Leody Taveras. If the Texas Rangers are serious about winning more games this season, particularly after their sluggish start, this move feels like an obvious one to make. Absorb the $5 million owed to Calhoun and promote Taveras from AAA. There's nothing left for Taveras to prove in the minors, just as there's nothing left for Calhoun to contribute to the big league Rangers, barring some unexpected hot streak. But don't hold your breath. The former is slashing a cool .394, .412, 1.079 with the Express, in addition to his typically stellar defense in the outfield. It finally seems to be coming together for Taveras. Once a highly touted Rangers prospect, he was solid in his first big league stint in 2020 before regressing badly last season. With another chance in 2022, Taveras could deliver on the promise that had Texas excited about the center fielder of the future. Or at the very least, can't be much worse than Calhoun, who we'll say again is providing below average big league production. When he's right, the youthful Taveras at just 23 years of age can provide a dynamic presence on the field for the Texas Rangers. Speed, pop, defense, he's got the makings of a Byron Buxton-like type of player. And while that might be lofty praise, Taveras is capable of reaching that ceiling. One that is infinitely higher than any ceiling Kole Calhoun may be able to reach. Figuratively speaking, of course. Let us know your thoughts on the topics we covered in the comment section below, or on Twitter at Talkin' Texas Rangers, or on Facebook. Just search Talkin' Texas Rangers. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know any topics you want covered in future episodes. And just let us know any thoughts you have on the Rangers in general. Is there something we missed? Something we got wrong? Let us know. And as always, thank you so much for watching and listening, and we will see you next time.